wonderful weekend. I know I had a good weekend, so I'm hoping that all of you had a good weekend as well. And let's jump right into it. Good morning, Zoe. Good morning, Adam. Good morning, Lecker. Good morning, Double R. Hopefully, you guys are having a wonderful day, evening, night, midday, whatever it is, wherever you are. Hopefully, it's going well. Mid. Go ahead and just post this real quick and then we'll jump into it. We've got some time today. Not much has changed over the weekend. Um, you know, there wasn't a ton of news, not that I saw at least over the weekend. Today we don't have really any big earnings. The main earnings today is going to be Bank of America. That's before the open, so we'll see kind of how that acts before the open. Morning, Peter. But nothing really else, right? Charles Schwab, and then even after the market today, nothing really crazy. But tomorrow we get Goldman Sachs, Johnson and Johnson, and then after the close we get Netflix, which may be a bigger earnings, right? And then as the week goes on, we start to see some. Make this a little bit. There we go. As the week goes on, we start to see some bigger names. We get the earnings on the Nasdaq before the open on Wednesday. Then we get Tesla on Wednesday after the market closes. AT&T typically is a bigger earnings, and then Verizon as well on Friday. So I'm looking for Snapchat. I don't see Snapchat. I think Snapchat reports this week. I'll have to look them up and see when their report is, but I'm pretty sure that they report this week. So not really any huge news today on the earnings. Um, you know, it's basically just almost nothing, right? There's not a lot of news today either. There's just price action today. I don't think we're going to be getting a lot of global news or anything like that. We're just going to be having to watch a lot of balance so far and see kind of if the market is going to be able to close these singles above or below here. Here. So you can see us from Friday, right? So here's Friday's profile. We left some singles above, and then we didn't close the singles fully from Thursday's profile either. And so the market's basically sitting kind of right in between these. Friday's session really makes me think that we have a just pure liquidation, right? You get the B profile here with the market basically just trading lower, especially after liquidating early on. Every rally looked to have been sold on Friday for the most part, right? There were some counter moves, but for the most part, it was just downside all day. Still holding those single prints. It looks like the market's trying to get up there right now. We'll kind of monitor that and see what the market has in store for us. Um, I am kind of leaning to the upside if we see some strength, right? If we see some early strength from the overall market, right? We see some tech stocks turn up. We see our weighted AD and our breadth start to look positive, right? Most likely our breadth is going to open up positive. So any counter rally or any, correction of overnight inventory, which is for the most part 100% net long. I think I forgot to put that in the trade view last or this morning. But I mean, we know we count it from the settle and everything is pretty much traded up. So we've got overnight inventory pretty much 100% net long. We can, kind of assume that they're kind of buying this up. This is interesting though. We did see this on Friday as well. If we uh, bring the overnight profile in here, they did the same thing. They kind of auctioned up the overnight inventory all night and then just started liquidating early on to catch everybody that was getting long early on. So we do have to be aware of that. The market's still inside the previous day's range, so it's not like we're opening up on a gap or anything like that. So we'll watch this value area high sitting right about 36.45. Key level today is going to be that 200 weekly. That's going to be the first key level, and then these single prints below, obviously. To see if we get any kind of reaction there, you can see we've kind of held it 2 days so far. And on the daily chart, it's a pretty strong hold, but pretty much closed right on top of it. So we'll have to watch and monitor for that going on. We can see the dollar getting kind of punished early on here, trading back down underneath into that 212 area. And that'll be kind of the key. Is it able to hold this 212, or is it going to climb back up into this 213 or 113, excuse me, level? The Australian dollar, extended hours. Um, we can see that the Australian dollar is trying to trade back up to the highs of Friday's range. So you got that kind of up move, just like the market did, and then that down move, just like the market did. So making higher lows in that Australian dollar, looking for that continuation here, especially if the US dollar starts to crumble still. The euro starting to come into some temporary resistance here, right? You can see it's kind of, lower high, lower high, lower high. So we'll see if it can break out. That would be kind of a key level to watch. If this starts to pump up, that could bring the dollar down and bring the market up. So we'll be watching for that. Bitcoin, kind of in that same situation, trading, down for the most part. Not really big range though, right? Like, so here's Friday's or Thursday's range from Bitcoin, but Friday's range didn't come down nearly as dramatically as the market did percentage wise. And so you're kind of starting to look to, it looks like Bitcoin's kind of coiling here, and we'll be watching this kind of trend if it's going to break down or if it's going to hold into the rest of today. Oil puked a little bit. Looks like it found a little temporary bottom. Still kind of coming down here though. Apple looks like it's going to be opening up on the highs, and I'm going to need to update these levels. These levels are old. So you can see we're kind of opening up here, right? Apple's going to be opening up. Looks like Apple's going to be opening up right inside those single prints, really close to where the market's at. And that'll be kind of key to monitor. You've got that zero gamma level at 145. So if Apple starts to get above 145, we can kind of expect market makers to start to hedge, and that would mean buying Apple. So that would definitely be a level to watch, and we'll keep a close eye on that. AMD, right, trading lower, and it really just looks like, and you can see these levels, these put walls here, and then zero gamma's up at 75. That basically everyone is expecting AMD for the most part, I think, to go up. And so we'll kind of see how that's going, especially coming into earnings, and especially with AMD just getting beat down so hard recently. Amazon here. For the most part, just trading inside of that range, not really doing anything. Get that zero gamma about 120. So we'll go ahead and watch this high here. I'm kind of expecting the market just to balance today, right? If we get up into these singles and you start to see weakness, we can probably fade that. And then the same thing here, get down into here and we're not able to close and start to see weakness, we can kind of fade that move as well. Especially kind of waiting until the big earnings of Tesla on Wednesday and tomorrow's Netflix. So it'll be an interesting week, I think. Google still kind of just hanging out. We're back inside that gap, right? This gap high. or it's just this pure gap level 99.51 to 97.47 has just been a key level, really just, kind of backfilling, building good structure. So if we get above this gap and the market looks strong, this could really be kind of a key indicator, especially zero gamma levels right there at the 100, to get some upside continuation heading on into the later parts of the week. Right, Meta's beat down pretty hard, but for the most part, just trading inside the previous day. Microsoft not really doing much, still kind of respecting the downtrend, didn't quite get down into that gap. Netflix is above its zero gamma level. They've got earnings today after the close, I'm pretty sure, so that'll be a key interesting level. Excuse me. I will be watching Nvidia sitting right up at that 115 level. Hasn't recovered as much as the sell on Friday for Nvidia was pretty drastic. It had been kind of lagging the other semiconductors and now is trying to catch up here. Roach, good morning. Adam, good morning. Got the TNX here, right? Did pop above that 40 level, and that's kind of the key level that we've been paying attention to. We're sitting, I mean, gap down early on here, but still, that 40 level is going to be kind of the key. If the market keeps holding below this 40 level, there's good odds for the market to keep, people to keep buying the market. Morning, Tommy. Tesla, right? Tesla's looking pretty strong. You had that kind of back test of Friday's low in the Globex session, and it's since kind of moved up. We'll be watching for Tesla really to climb up above that 215 level. That's going to be kind of the key level for Tesla to get above, and we'll see if shorts start to cover from there, especially with earnings coming in. And then the VIX, right, volatility did open up a little bit higher last night, but it's since pretty much closed down and is trading a little bit lower. Still elevated, sitting about 3173. Looking at the COT report from Friday, and I can pull it up real quick since we've got some time. Um, Not really much information. Uh, Honestly, like there's just no real conviction. Remember, this is as of last Tuesday, and then Wednesday that market really just hit the low. You can see that asset managers were kind of hedged properly, right? They had taken off some long positions in the end of Tuesday. They had gotten short big time in the end of Tuesday, right? That'd be really cool if we got to see this live, but for some reason we don't, right? Which is just straight bullshit. But what can you do? Um, Leverage funds really don't really know what's going on. They're just kind of guessing. Uh, you know, both sides here, mostly short, though you can see 76% short. Asset managers getting closer and closer to that 50-50 level. If you remember earlier in the year, they were sitting at about 80-20, and now they're about 55 long, 44% short. So starting to get back to that neutral level. And if we come down here and look at um, the stuff that matters here, you can kind of see asset managers and dealers are still, relatively balanced, and we can see pretty much, especially if we zoom this out here, for the most part, anytime we get this big divergence between asset managers and leveraged money, eventually you get that kind of draw back into it, and that typically is, kind of your indication of an extreme low, right? For the most part, right? You can see the kind of draws in here. You can see the low on the chart up there. It draws in here. You can kind of see the low on the chart right here, right? Little draw in here. You get a little temporary low. Draw in here, temporary low. Draw in here, temporary low. Draw in here, little temporary low. But we haven't really got that yet. So, we definitely want to be careful. Dr. VJ, good morning. Definitely want to be careful. Just a lot of people have been talking about that the low is in, and maybe it is, maybe it's not. There's no way to know for sure, but we definitely just want to be at least a little bit cautious going into it and not assume anything, right? Um, that is pretty much it. We do have a CME gap, right? Here's the settle from Friday. We're opening up. I mean, about 50 points higher, even more now. Getting into some of these single prints here. I had assumed that this is a weak reference from Friday, right? That D period came right up to the half back and sold off. But looks like the market has already been trading up to it. That's kind of one of the trades I was going to be looking for early on in the session, and we'll kind of see if we get any downside auction early on that looks weak. There might be some opportunity to trade back into that level as well still, so we'll still pay attention to it and keep it on. Morning, Dad. Yeah, that's what you call a big CME gap. That's right. Yeah, it is. Nasdaq's still looking to break out here as well, trying to break up back into its single prints from Friday. Still about 10 minutes till the market opens up. If anyone's got any questions, just let me know. I'm just kind of just kind of hanging out. Today, I think, is a day where you're going to have to be patient, and kind of see if the market's going to give strength, right? We're going to be opening up on a fairly large CME gap. The market overnight inventory is 100% net long, and it's getting pretty thin up here. So there may be a correction of overnight inventory. And, if that's the case, you'd be looking for some of those areas where you've seen buyers step up before to see if they step up again, right? So we'll pay attention to that. We'll look to see if the or we'll look to see the strength of the overall market, right? We can pretty much assume that we're going to open up with a pretty good breadth and a pretty high tick. So those will be kind of disregarded. For any fade to get underway, right? We want to let that market get below the zero or see it get below the zero. And then we'll monitor the breadth based off of how it opens versus how it trades for the rest of the day, right? So have your pens ready to write down the breadth as the market opens, and then we can kind of compare it as the day goes on. So definitely a day to exercise some patience. Definitely a day that the market most likely is gonna be, probably choppy, honestly. I'm not really expecting a huge like volume day today with not really any extremely important earnings underway today. I wouldn't be surprised if we just see relative, just kind of a weaker market today. How was everyone's weekend? Anyone do anything exciting? I know TJ went camping, I think, with his family. I did a little dirt biking this weekend, out here in the woods. Pretty fun, little single trail riding. Tell you what, tiring on your grip. Yeah, it was really nice weather this weekend. I went on Saturday and Sunday. And like the woods behind my house go all the way like up to the turnpike, so pretty good distance to ride. There's a lot of trails and stuff, so it's pretty fun. Only crashed once, so pretty solid. A little bit of liquidation early on. People probably, weaker longs probably trying to just, get out of the market here before the market opens, which is not surprising. Oh, it's a 230 Kawasaki S, four stroke. Yeah, it's pretty nice. That still has some good power for being a four stroke. No, I don't ride a quad. Yeah. Yeah, double R. Yeah, I do that. Like when I'm standing up, I'll pinch the tank like between my legs and stuff. I'm just getting like I mean, I haven't ridden in such a long time that after a while, my arms are just kind of shot, and it's like really rocky here. So there's just you've got a lot of sliding and stuff like that. Like the time that I did crash, I was going up a pretty steep hill and hit a loose rock. It's flipped out to the back and then I just caved right into the side of the hill. So Yeah, 8 hours. Yeah, that's a long time. I was starting to get like towards the end. I was starting to get so tired that like I could feel myself accidentally, pulling the throttle when I shouldn't be pulling the throttle. So I was like, I need to chill. Thomas, what's up, man? Yeah, and like I have a bad wrist from hockey. So like that's where I feel it. I feel it like right on the top of my wrist today. I don't feel sore at all today, really, just uh top of my wrist is just shot. Thanks, Thomas. I hope you did as well. Morning, Tobias. All right, let's go ahead and get some Reveille going. All right. Thoughts on BTC topping out here, just trading into the 618 previous local high to low. It had me sweating all weekend. Jason, good morning. Good morning. Morning, Clipper. Yeah, let's take a peek at BTC real quick. Ingo, good morning. Good morning. So we can, yeah, Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin looks like it's just one time framing up for the most part, breaking out of this balance trend, probably targeting this 19,800 level. So it's in. I mean, yeah, you can see kind of a coil here. It kind of here. There goes the market trying to break up a little bit. For the most part, just kind of holding this low here. Yeah, so I mean, it's getting a couple rotations. I'd like to see Bitcoin really just kind of rotate here, maybe on the open, but hold this this area of volume, right? We see a lot of volume coming in here. See it hold that volume and then start testing this upward trend, and then that point of control is like 19.8. Test that level. There's probably a lot of stops right here, and above that probably takes us, back to 20K. There's 20K has been basically a magnet for Bitcoin for the most part. Let's look at ETH while we're here. Kevin, good morning. A little sell up there. That was from that Wednesday move. But ETH is basically back inside this area. This 1338 to 1304 has just been an area where ETH has just kind of been bouncing around like crazy over and over and over and over. So we're seeing a little bit of lower high action here. All right, and then if you wanted to get a little bit tighter, you could probably look to see here where it's coming up right now. Definitely be watching that 1328. Morning, Trin. Definitely be watching that 1328. But for the most part, I mean, it's kind of just one time framing higher after looking above. So it's holding that 1300 level pretty solidly and is just kind of back inside this balance area. So to really, really the key will just be to see, honestly, if the market shows strength today, I think that we probably keep trading higher, especially if it just holds it into the open. You can see all the buyers that came in, buying back their shorts from Friday really on yesterday's half back. So it didn't really get a chance to take that trade. Um, as it kind of happened during the Globex session. I typically wait until we get a little bit of cash session to trade. NASDAQ looking to break out here. We've got about 1 minute left. Actually, there it goes. There's the bell. So some strength right off the bat here. Market pumping up. A little bit of an offer there. Buyers still stepping up here. See if they get that continuation. Still seeing some strength here in these buyers early on. Look at the breadth, 34 on the NYSE, 3-1 on the NASDAQ. Most of our sectors are green here. Still seeing volume just step up early on. A little bit of selling here. Sellers trying to sell this 70 half, but not really any downticks here. Right? Big stuck shorts right there at the 70. They're really trying this 70. Yep, they're stuck. There it goes. Nice, nice, nice. So decent little trade early on here. Yeah, I think the next target up would be to try to fill up these singles here to the 80, 81 level. I have a level marked on my chart 78 to 79, so be a level that we see, maybe see if the market tries to react. Buyers at the 72 here. Mohan, thank you for the sub. So we can see that tick opened up pretty high, right? There's no fade really until this tick starts to get below zero. So don't try to be forcing the market or anything like that. There's no need. Just be patient. Let the market come to you. Google's above that mark that we marked during the pre-market, right? That's showing a little bit of strength. We talked about how if Google gets above that, we could probably keep seeing some continuation to the upside. So where we got these stuck shorts down here at the 70, and that's kind of their target. Then the sellers need to get this thing back below 70 if they want to have any chance, but it just looks like they're not in the business today. Buyers keep stepping up. Look at the breadth, 22, so it's cooling off a little bit here. Right, we saw it open around 34. Um, so what gave me confidence is I have a level marked from 68 to 69. It just happens to be like one of the previous levels that I have marked on my chart. And then I just saw those sellers get stuck on the 70, and the market just couldn't get back down there. Buyers kept stepping up and then just kind of went with it. I got long 68, 75, and 69. I'd like to hold out for this 78, but we'll kind of see. 78, 79 is another level up. These sellers want to get it back below 70, but I just don't see the strength here yet. A lot of selling came in at that 74. Above the 74, there they go. See if we can get the 78. There we are. So I flattened out. I closed my last one at 78. I think we got 78.50 there. What was the last one I had? 78. Yeah, so it was really just based off of a previous level, TJ. That was pretty much it. And then, I mean, we just saw the continuation of the strength early on, right? There was no market opened up and didn't downtick at all, stepped up, volume started to come in. Here we go. We got a little bit of selling here on the 70. It downticked. That's where I jumped in. Sellers got stuck. More volume popped in, popped up. More volume popped in. I mean, we're not really, getting this crazy range here, but I mean, we're starting to get a little bit more upside now, but please for now. We trade right to the opposite side of the single prints here. 82. About 6 minutes in here. No real weakness. Look at the breadth. 39. IC or the Nasdaq breadth's almost 5. Pick is still just pinned above 1,000 here. I mean, there's just no weakness yet in the market to be seen anywhere. Oh, Jesus. Nasdaq just took off like a fucking bat out of hell. My gosh. And then flipped right around. Market's starting to get, well, the Nasdaq's starting to bounce around like crazy right here, so just be careful. A bit of selling coming in right here at the 85 level. The A high is almost at the B level. Got a few quick scalps in. Nice. Yeah, that flip in the Nasdaq was quick. Actually had a long in on the Nasdaq. I had a 11,068 and closed at 1190.50. So about 22 point move on the Nasdaq right there, so not bad. Next level up is going to be at 94 to 97 level where that previous day's highs at. A little bit of excess there. We can see the weak spot on the profile from Friday, right at the 96 area here. You can see this. A lot of selling coming in up here at this high. Breath is still pretty strong. And like I said, if this tick doesn't get below the 0, there's really no opportunity for a fade, right? You're more just kind of gambling and trying to call the top until you get to see this confirmation of it here. And then all of our sectors are green, right? Our weighted AD is green. Breath is really green, right? We opened up really green, opened up at about 36, about 45 here, and opened up at about 2.9 here, and it's about 5.7. So you're just seeing overall strength in the market. We are seeing a lot of selling here from like this 684, excuse me, to like 87, 75. Buyers are just meeting all the offers here. That's the thing. Is like you're seeing a lot of selling, but buyers are just meeting the offers. Stop should come out right here. A lot of trades here. Couple more ticks, we get the stops. Stops are sitting at 90 here. Buyer's still stepping up. So this is that weak spot from Friday's session here. So we can kind of expect a little bit of selling right here. Only 19 contracts trade on the high tick. A little bit of selling comes in on that 94. There we go. You're at it or running it, right? We should have our stop here sitting right on the around the 90. We don't want to see the market get back below 90 here. I'd like to see it hold above 90. 89. Still seeing good strength on the market though. Nasdaq still on a tear. The algo took a long from 36.87 here, and it's targeting the 36.98. And on the Nasdaq, the algo took a long from 11.87, and it's targeting the 11115. It may have touched close. No, it didn't. Buyers just meeting here. They're just, continuously stepping up, and there it goes. However, can we take out the previous day's high? That might be a fade point. Yeah, I mean, you're seeing a little bit of selling here for sure, but you're seeing kind of the buying step up as well. Everything looks strong. Weighted AD looks strong. All the sectors look strong. The VIX is down. VIX is not really doing much, to be honest, just kind of sitting neutral. I would almost call that a high mechanical. The bot's getting into a call. Yeah, if I run my algo on AMD, it's getting long at 57.85. I didn't run it though on AMD, but that's where it says the entry was at 57. What's your 57.76 actually? 57.76. So you're starting to get our first little box, DJ's box for the first one of the day here. No play for the bot today.
Yeah, it looked like it might be getting in, but it didn't like the numbers. I think it was thinking that AMD was already too high, and getting in would not necessarily be a lot of room for growth.
Yeah, if I look at AMD on mine, if I look at AMD on mine, it's actually targeting the 59.96. So it's looking for like another $2 up to the upside.
Oh, wow. Well, heck, then I might have had room.
But I mean, I mean, that's based off of a previous swing high, so it could be ambitious. Seeing a little bit of down. We're coming out of that box right here. Look to see if sellers move down or buyers step up here. It's gonna be the key. Selling comes in on that 87. Previous buyer. Previous buyer's right here. The 85. Look at the breadth has basically been cut in half now from 50 to 28. Nasdaq breadth still looks pretty strong. So a little bit of weakness there, right? Market unable to break the previous day's high. That shows a little bit of weakness, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some backing and filling yet. We can't really abandon the the opportunity of upside just because the market's come down. We know the range has been extremely volatile, for the past, especially the past 2 days, and then coming into today, we're at 62, so about a 40% or 40 point open here for the most part. 40% 40 point a period. Good battle here on the 70 85, excuse me. Buyers trying to step up but unable to uptick here, and sellers trying to step down but unable to downtick here. Really just kind of stuck right here. Let's see who wins out. Buyers really lifting this offer here at 85, but you're not getting any upticks at all. So if they don't start upticking this market here pretty soon, look for that auction back down, and back down that level, um, probably 81. So it's a battle right here. Look at these buyers on this 85. Look at the volume coming in on 85 here. It's crazy. We saw this on Friday, kind of. Um, right here on this 3710, we saw that. There's some upticks. Sellers might be stuck here. Oh, right back down below it. This is a spot where you probably just want to just, flatten out if you're in a trade, or just kind of hang out and let the market show you what it wants to do. A lot of opportunity here, but also a lot of risk. Sellers look to get stuck right there on the 84. Yep. Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, it was the same thing we saw on Monday, or on Friday, excuse me, if you guys remember. A period did the same thing. We kind of popped up above the open, we put in all that volume, and then the market puked the rest of the day. So it's like, are they moving up and unloading all their inventory, and then they're going to puke it the rest of the day? It's really, makes you wonder now, and makes you kind of want to just flatten everything out. Getting back up into that box. DJ's looking to get short here. I'm just kidding. I don't know. The advanced decline's not particularly high, yeah. Not the weighted one, that's for sure. Damn. Well, at least I mean it's $12. It's like 2 points on the MES. Yeah, I would. I mean, that's the best way to go, though, Tommy. Honestly, like if you accidentally click on the wrong instrument, like you just want to get out of there as fast as possible. You know, sometimes a happy accident could be a gigantic mistake too. Buyers look like they're liking this 90 level here. Nice. I just took a quick little scalp right there from 91.50 to 93. Too bad. Hell yeah, TJ. That's what's up. Good shit. I was just joking, but yeah, that's awesome. And that's honestly like long term. That's what's gonna get you. That's what's gonna get you to the promised land. Discipline. How was camping?
It was fun, bro.
Nice.
It
How's
was fun.
weather
Yep.
was good?
Oh yeah, the weather was like perfect. Yeah, no rain. It didn't get below like 47, I don't think, at night. So you're not freezing, wishing you had a heater or anything.
Nice.
Like sleeping bags and everything were perfect. So yeah, it was a ton of
Awesome.
fun. We normally prefer to stay a little longer, so it's not like it doesn't feel like you're setting the whole campsite up and then tearing it back down the next day.
Yeah.
But I want to be back to trade on today. So
Perfect timing too, because I think the East Coast is supposed to get slammed, or not even just the East Coast, but like the whole eastern side of the United States is supposed to get slammed with some cold weather this week.
yeah. Weather was awesome. That was great. It was like cold enough to want to fire and to sit around it, but not cold enough to where you're just like sitting there in like 17 layers of clothes.
Yeah.
My phone disconnected earlier when I had asked that question. Did you say you were mountain biking?
Oh no, dirt biking.
Oh, dirt biking. Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like I live like the back of my house like backs right up to a forest, and the forest goes like I don't know a good amount of distance, um, and it actually connects over to my in-laws' house. Like, well, not like their backyard doesn't back up to the forest, but like there's a road that backs up to the forest, so you could just ride the dirt bike down and get to their house. So, just me and my father-in-law just went dirt biking and stuff. I mean, he used to race motocross and stuff, so he's really good. I'm more of a rookie.
That's awesome, bro. Dirt bikes are fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I had a blast. And I've ridden motorcycles like my entire life, um, but never ridden a dirt bike until Saturday. So Saturday was my first day, and then Sunday was my second day.
Oh, man.
What kind
Yeah,
of
I
dirt
grew
bike?
up riding dirt bikes. My dad bought me one when I was probably like 10 or something like that. And man, yeah, we always had a blast.
Yeah, I had a blast. I need to buy some like forearm strengtheners. Like even though with like jujitsu, like you do the strength, but I mean you still just get so tired. And I might buy a wrist guard too, like just to prevent the flexion of my wrists because I've had some bad injuries from hockey and boxing in my wrist, especially my right wrist, and so maybe I buy like some like a like a brace or something to wear if I run. Kevin, it was a Kawasaki 230S. S stands for short, so it's a little bit shorter, so I can stand because I'm not very tall, 5'8", so um I can basically stand up like tippy toed on it instead of having to be like on leaning on one side or the other. It was a ton of fun. I mean, and I love anything that you can have fun doing and get a workout in at the same time.
Did you rent them or how'd you get it?
On it. The 2023. It was like 5 grand.
Oh wow, that's badass.
Yeah.
They got a bunch of trails like that outside my house. I've been talking about buying an ATV because of my hip. I can't do a dirt bike, but down here, that's big time in our area. A bunch of dirt bike and ATV and things like that.
It's a blast, and you can get a good workout while doing it. Like, you can't really beat like, it's like, working out is kind of boring for me. Like, some people love just getting in the gym and lifting weights, I guess, but for me, I like need to do something while I'm working out. That's why I love jujitsu, because you're like doing something and still getting a workout.
I had to get a side by side. With age comes a cage.
Yeah, side by sides are a blast. You can be a lot more reckless on a side by side. But my father-in-law, he's 63. So, I mean, he's out there fucking, I mean, he's on a KTM 452 stroke, just fucking getting it.
That's a bad bike.
Yeah. Like, I mean, he's good and he's been riding a long time. But yeah, he's not fucking around, that's for sure. So back below that 85 now. Remember, this 85's been at this kind of this huge level. We'll see if the market starts to puke. This is kind of what happened, if we remember from Friday. That's where it's really reminding me of, is Friday. Starting to see that tick get below the zero. That weighted AD's coming down. The breadth has come down on the NYSE, but the Nasdaq breadth is still pretty strong here. Dollars at 12.5. Take a peek at Google. Google's up about 3, almost 4%, starting to come back here a little bit as well. Yeah, that's what they were saying. Double R is like something is gonna mess up the weather, and it's supposed to be like extremely cold weather this week. Next weekend's supposed to be nice though again, but this week is supposed to be like colder weather than we normally get out here. A little bit of buying stepping up there on the 80 or the 60. Oh, 80. My eyes are like fucking broken right now. Jesus. 3680. It's like keeps switching it back from 80 to 6 and 8. Back to that 80 level. Let's see if these buyers step up again. Sellers are trying to move down here. Buyers seem to be meeting them though. So we're seeing sellers try to move down on the 79, but buyers are scooping it up. We're getting upticks, so sellers are trying to move down, but they're not getting any down ticks here. Buyers are still holding. Pretty balanced. There you go. Sellers got it there. Sellers trying to move it. They keep failing down there. There they go. Buyers look like they, oh. Yeah, every little pop gets met with some selling there. So if sellers don't break below here though, sellers need to get this thing back down like around that 76. If not, they're just basically covering there. And it looks like that's what they're doing. They did. Damn. B period opens up. Nasdaq breast still looks strong. Look at that. Failed to close below zero again on the tick. Weighted AD starting to come back up. I guess it didn't go too much. I took 2 lots right there from 78.5 and then closed 83, 82.75. I thought we were going to keep going, but I had issues with this past couple of days. I've had issues leaving money on the table, so to speak, closing trades too early, not with the confidence. The volatility, I mean, we just haven't seen this volatility in a little while. It's been a little bit a little bit of time since we've seen a market range 100-point ranges back-to-back days, so the volatility just kind of got me a little bit this past couple of days, if I'm being honest. Western US should be a lot hotter and the East colder. Yeah, I was reading that last night on Twitter or something. Okay, so back down to the 78 here. And the sellers want to get back down to the 76. That's where I think we'll see liquidation from buyers if they can push it back down there. But it looks like buyers are kind of just stepping up. I have a zone here from 78 to 79. I started marking a bunch of 1-point zones on my chart this weekend. I redid my entire chart book this weekend as well. I'll post the new chart book today. And you guys can let me know what you guys think. DJ will be happy to know that the chart that I'm trading on it's a 1-minute chart. You inspired me, bro.
No way.
Swear to God. Yeah. I mean, like I'm still taking my thesis off of my TPO, but
Yeah.
like that trade right there was just a mechanical trade right off a half back. I got long 78.5, and we got down there and sellers couldn't get anything going, and I was like, well, we can take mechanical trades, right? We just got to know that they're not going to last forever.
Yep. That's awesome, bro.
I just have to remember, because I've traded a 1-minute chart before, and over time I started to just over trade. But I think I'm a lot more mature of a trader than the last time I had a 1-minute chart on my screen. So I'll be, more disciplined and less reactive.
Yeah, I kind of went through that as well for a couple weeks, where it's like you just start trying to trade every little thing instead of waiting for like the nicer ones to set up.
Right.
I guess I still have that supply box on my trading view chart that we had marked or whatever.
Oh, from back here. Oops.
Yeah, I forget where it started, but I remember I think Thursdays had stopped right in the box or whatever.
Yeah.
Today we came right up to the edge of it.
Yeah, because I remember on Thursday I actually faded it late in the day. It was a perfect fail. Buyers stepped up here. Looked like the impulse was from 83 this time. It looks like we have some stuck shorts here, like right at the 82. So B period still trading inside of A period. We're back to that 85 level. It looks like we've got some shorts stuck here below that 85, and we might see a little Paparuski here. Trying to see this breadth still try to kick up. Weighted ADs trying to move higher here. All of our sectors are still looking pretty decent. Tech is kind of cooling out, which is really, I think, the only reason that this thing's not getting a nice pop. I'm still watching the Nasdaq. Nasdaq's pretty much mirroring the ES, not really doing its own thing like it has been before. I mean, Nasdaq kind of leading the upside here, up 3.25%. Russell's up 3%. Dow's only up 1.5%. ES is up 2.5%. So we already know the key level today, right? The level that we write down today is going to be this 85. And really, let's watch this level up here. Remember, 37.10, big level from Friday. That could be the target of a test, right? If you figure, if you got all this inventory, they gather all this inventory, then they liquidate the market, they sell some lower. This probably be their last straw of hold here. And it looks like they're trying to gather all this inventory here. So if they can't trade the market down, look for the market to trade up, target that 37.10 and higher. If the market gets that 37.10, we probably see a lot of stops come out of the market there. But so far, you're pretty much seeing them try to hold this area. And I think you're starting to see a lot of retail shorts pile on here to the short side. Try to at least, but not doing the best job. Tesla is above that 215 level, so we're getting a lot of our tech stocks popping above the levels that we marked during the pre-market today. A little bit of selling coming in there again. Let's watch this 91 level, a little weak volume there. That 70 area. Yeah, well, I mean, we definitely have some shorts still stuck down at the 70 approach. That was where I took my initial long from this morning was 70, and it was based off of the. Had some stuck shorts. Sure. And now we're just basically in kind of like a 78 to 90 range here. But they just, I think they just keep getting stuck. You see buyers stepping up here on the 80, 87, I mean, 88. Yeah, it's like every time you get a down tick, you get an uptick, right? It's like buyers are just like scooping up as much as they can. This is a resistance spot here, though, this 90, 36.90. Spot that, see if we find some buyers up here willing to trade at these higher prices. Seven contracts traded on that top tick would be. So 90 holds again, right? The lower part of the bracket is like 78, 80 level. We're in like a 90 to 78 kind of bracket here. Sellers trying to get on this 85. Not getting anything going yet. back at this area sellers stepped in before here, 89, 90. Look at that bid just chase price up. Did you see that? Someone just closed out. Someone just chased, like you could just see the bids. Today's a day where like you can see order flow. Like if you're watching the DOM and you just watch it, right? It's it'd be hard to trade, but if you just watch it, you can see how order flow really works on a day with high volatility, where people are really trying to position. Is what it looks like here. Back to the 90. They're still stepping up here. Down. Watch 91.75. That's where the offer came from. Right here. They got it. There it is. Weighted AD's going. Breath is increasing. Now let's see if they've got the strength to get through this high here. They're trying. There it is. So I don't see the stops yet. Buyers are still trying to step up here above the previous day's high. We're selling right off the previous day's high, mechanical high. Still, and the 37.10 is going to be that target up if this thing starts to go here. Mechanical selling at the high though. Impulse was from that 94.75. Nice. Let's get the fuck out of the way. $3,700's basically on the ticket now. 500 lots up there. So someone's really got to decide if they've got the juice to jump up there and trade that.
500 lots at what number?
The 00, 3,700.
Cool, thanks.
There it goes. So 37.10's a ticket here. $300 lots just moved down to the 01. 400 lots on the 01 now. Someone's selling the shit out of the 00. No downticks off of it. NASDAQ and the ES algo are out. But that doesn't necessarily mean mine just based off of a previous swing high, so it doesn't necessarily mean that the market can't keep going because it doesn't have anything to do with trend or anything or momentum. A lot of trading going on right here around this 3,700 level. A lot more offers than bids so far, but no downticks. Bit of downside right there. We're seeing 3,700 to 3,698 really is where the seller's sitting at now. Remember the impulse buyer was 94, 94.75, I think. I just wrote down 94, but I think it was 94 3/4. Look at the tick just pinned above the zero. Every sector is green. Weighted AD's green. We've got our breadth back up at 30. NASDAQ breadth is up at 6, basically double what it opened up at. You can see even our VWAP is starting to move up here. A little bit of flattening here in our VWAP, but not really anything too. The high of the top edge of that supply box. This right here. Remember it was like 3,700 something, you know.
Yeah, I got it at 3701.50. Which just, so if that's the top of the box, that means that whenever I created the box, like right above the box is where everybody would have been longing, and then when it got below that level, that's when it would have trapped them, you know, because I marked a thin spot.
So it would make sense if they're here, they're starting to cover some of their position.
Yeah. Man, I don't trade off these, especially once they've been there for so long. But I just kind of just have it in my mind of like historical reference, I guess, maybe, and it just gives me an idea of where the inventory might be.
Especially areas you've seen reactions at before. Makes sense.
Yeah. That's really what it is how does it react, you know?
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing is like levels, like a lot of people post levels like that they're going to trade off of, but it's all dependent, right? Like, you know, you could say, okay, we're going to watch this 37 whatever level, but it depends on what the market's doing at that time as well. Everything is contextual. A lot of selling on that 97.75, but the market is trading higher now. That battle area was the 50, the 0050 and 0075 really. 7,000 half level up here. AMD bot has changed its target to 58.57. So it pulled its target down from about 50. It moved its target down about $1. So AMD looks to be slowing a little bit here as well.
So if you're sitting here like asking yourself, like, why do these 1 minute candles keep stopping at this 96.5 area? You just look left and you can see that's the high that we had put in previously on the 1 minute candles, the A high. So people were probably shorting that at one point, and then when the price got above it, they got trapped. So it temporarily, short term, props the price up right there while everybody's covering. That's what that was.
Does everybody get what TJ's talking about in the chat? Because if you don't, ask. You'll receive some. A little bit of a liquidation there, right? That liquidation break looked like it started basically from like the 30s, 36.98, right below that level that TJ was just talking about, that 36.96 level. Coming right back to trend here. See the breath come down here a little bit. NASDAQ breath still looking pretty decent. Dollar still coming down. ENX 36.96. It's getting pretty close to that 40 level. See the TNX is starting to climb up here. Let me check the news real quick. Offer coming down from 35.90 or 35.25 right there. I don't really see anything. Crumble cookies suing Crave and Dirty Dough. Have you guys had crumble cookies? They're fucking good. So we're getting a lot of volume up here. Look at this 92 and this 94 or 93-ish level. A lot of volume has come in on these levels.
That last rally off the 1 minute, off that spot I was talking about, off the shorts covering, where the last 1 minute candle broke the high, that put in a weak bearish divergence. So just be cautious of starting to see some more weak signs.
We're seeing the first break of this trend. This trend is all the way from the open here.
Apple keeps failing at 142 also. What hasn't gotten on board.
Half. It's still tough to get short here, guys, right? So we're seeing a little bit of bearish divergence, but it's tough here. You know, with the tick, you can see it's not really getting any strong selling pressure. To get some selling in here, I'd like to see the market get below this 85 level and see that tick. I'd like to see it get below that 600. You know, not really a particular level that we pay attention to. It's just a level that I have marked to see, you know, if there is some pressure there. It shows me a little bit of strength versus a little bit of weakness, right? So far we've cracked below the zero, but really unable to hold it for the most part. Back to this 90 level.
Yeah, one thing to remember too is like the market's rotational. So if you start thinking of everything in rotations, like the ones that heard me do the trade on Friday, like we were 20 points higher than my entry, and I was like, I'm waiting for it to rotate back to here, and this is where I would take the long, or in this scenario, it should rotate back to the high in that general area, and it should give us an opportunity to get short if that's the trade plan that you're looking for. So never play off your emotions of just like FOMOing in, because it's just there's always a better entry in most scenarios if you just think of the rotations.
Yeah, that key really just becomes letting the market come to you, right? Like, plan out your trade and then just wait for your trade. And guess what? If your trade never comes, then your trade never comes. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with not trading every single time you get on the computer. Yeah, there's opportunity, right? There's always opportunity, right? But there's always risk as well. And if you're not, thinking about that risk first, chances are you're going to get burned a lot more often than you don't.
Well, especially in crypto, because if it goes just straight up, it's going to come straight back down. You want the rotation. You
Right.
want to slowly go up.
Right. Well, there's a little ledge forming there. If you guys kind of see this, look at this 90 here. We zoom in a little bit. You got 15,000 volume trading on this 90 and only 4,000 right above it, right? A little bit of absorption going on right here above this 90 level from sellers. It looked like we just got
That was some
buyers
weird
stuck on the 91.75.
Those last 4 or 5 1-minute candles were weird. It's like people on both sides just keeping them really tight. It's like a ledge, like you're saying, that ledge.
Yeah. And so here's what I'm kind of assuming here. We got buying coming in here around this 85, right? They had a little competition Buyers were able to win it. They ran it up. And then we had some selling start to come down this 93.5, 92 area, 94, 92 area, let's call it. And now we're seeing it looks like some selling moving down to the 90. Now we've got really kind of our first defined half pipe, and it's a really tight range with a drop off on both sides.
I'm going to refill the coffee cup. Y'all don't let it go without me.
All right, everyone close your eyes and buy. TJ's going.
Stop running.
All right, Jason, have a good day, man. There goes that break below 85. Look at our tick here. Let's see some strength here. I'd like to see this thing get below that 600 and show some strength. Morning, JB. Yeah, every time it gets under there, it just starts to get weak here. Still some trap shorts down at the 70 level, way down there. There's some trap shorts down here around 78 as well, I think, is also. So right there to that ledge again. A little bit of backing and filling here. So the key here would be that 96. If we break above 96, you'll probably get a test back up to that 3,700. You can see that's kind of where that top level was at, or the bottom level, excuse me, of that previous box was 96. Selling unable to get below the 600. Weighted AD starting to tick back up. Look at the breadth. Increasing up above 30 now. Nothing should be screaming to you to get short. Like I said, let the market convince you. Looks like it is holding that 11,100 level here pretty decently. So the Nasdaq breadth, I mean, hasn't really increased too much, but still kind of holding on here, and we're right at that shelf level again with a little bit of backing and filling going on above the 90. I mean, to me, it looks like bids are meeting demand, or demand is meeting supply here. Um, I definitely could be wrong, but it really just looks like buyers are moving up and just everything that they want to sell, they're like, I got you. Flipper, I got long on BTC on the dip around 1940 based on the 4-hour close CME being above hate buying highs, but I'm following the strategy and it says buy. Hey man, good stuff. And that's the thing, like, and let's say, I'm not necessarily saying this on your trade, but if you take a trade and it's according to your plan and it doesn't work out, it doesn't necessarily mean that it was a bad trade. It just, I don't know why these things keep not saving. It doesn't mean that it's a bad trade. It just You know, you're following your plan. You can't really get mad at a trade that was according to your plan. And you're not going to win every single trade. You're not going to, you're not going to win. I mean, you want to win most of your trades, but you're probably not going to win about 30% of your trades. So for every 10 trades you take, there's probably going to be 3 or 4 losers in there. And that should still be pretty decent enough to maintain consistent winning here. You're seeing a nice rotation. You got it getting right here on this bar here. Where's your target at, Clipper? You're targeting probably like this 19,800, I think, and then probably 20K. Yeah, you've got this close to 19,930 to 2,200. Little coiling going on here. You can see the market really getting tight.
Yeah.
Where's your take profit at, Clipper? What's your upside target for Bitcoin? Daily stochastic failed to meet its upside pivot. How are we looking on that divergence, TJ? I don't know if you're back from getting coffee yet.
What'd you say?
That divergence that you were talking about earlier during B period,
Yeah.
is it still holding true?
Yeah. We have 2 reference points right now. Basically the A high was the first one, and then the B high put in the second one. And yeah, right now it's still losing momentum. So I'm trying to keep an open mind. If we got shorts trapped, we're still holding the 50 right now, so it could go either way. But in the back of my head, I'm thinking if C can't take the B high, it's probably the mean reversion play. But don't want to get too frisky. So, because when it moves up on trap shorts, it's going to look weak, and it has everybody shorting up here, and then it just continues the move slow grind higher because it's trap supply. So
Right.
so you got to know what to look for. But right now it's still in play. This ultra chop zone right here, though, is less the C period. This one could really go both ways, honestly, because we have the single prints from Friday's session. Like we're chopping right here, right above that, which tells me we could really have trapped shorts underneath us, so it gives us this look like it could be a reversion point. But as soon as one side gets scared, it could easily just run the B high, and then you have even more shorts trapped. And early on when I was developing this play, this is how I kept taking a bunch of losses, because it would look like it would work, but you have to know the scenario to play it in. Like if you have shorts trapped underneath you, it looks weak, but it just keeps grinding up slowly. That's what creates trend days, is there's just so many people trapped short that they're forced to buy. So it looks weak.
Right.
So, got to have your if-thens.
Always. Yep. And as you guys are listening to TJ, think about yourself, asking yourself some of the questions that TJ's going through, right? Like, are you asking yourself those same questions when you're trading, right? And if you're not, you need to be, right? He's able to look at the market very objectively and maintain his perspective and stay patient and disciplined all at the same time, because he's constantly evaluating what's going on. And like you said, as weak as the market looks right now, we're still not seeing the strength from sellers that we want to see yet to get short, right? They the market has ticked down a couple ticks here, but we're not seeing what these sellers really, if they were going to be a little bit more aggressive, what we should see. And so we have to maintain patience, and C period really just balancing. That's all it's doing. So not really a ton of opportunity yet. If we can get this tick below 600 and price gets below this 85, there's those stuck shorts down at 78. But 8 below 85, excuse me. Stuck shorts down here at 78, right at the B low. And then there was some stuck shorts down at 72, which could be the target down there. Tick is still looking weak though. Breath is down to 20 here. Nasdaq breath is still at 6. I'm gonna go get a coffee. I'll be back. Oh shit. Well, goddamn. Walk away for a second and you guys just sell the market off, huh? Right. Is there any confluence in that with the levels you're watching? Ooh, bit of selling. 24-hour VWAP's down 69. Um, so the levels that I have on here, Clipper. Are really just kind of like, I would say that 19,000 level. You really don't want to see the market. You said your stop's at okay. Fucking blind. Okay, there it is. 18 at 100. That, I mean, that's all the way down here below the low. That's your hard stop. Yeah, so that makes sense. And you said 19,450 is where you'll close a 4 hour. If we close a 4 hour below there, okay. And you said you're front running a daily BBWP. What's BBWP? Ancient signal off the. I'm not sure.
Bollinger Bands with something.
Oh, okay. I mean, I would say honestly, like as long as it holds this value, I'd like to see it hold really above this 19,246. Bollinger Bands with the percentile. Oh, okay. Because you have that point of control there, and then you have all these value area highs just kind of lining up. So you have really, kind of equal levels, right? And that typically will act as an equilibrium. And then you kind of have the same thing down here with all these common lows and value area lows, and then another point of control as well. So really, that's really where you want to see it hold. If it does hold, I mean, obviously you'd like to see it hold here, this 19,442 level. But if it doesn't hold there, there's the opportunity for it to hold there. But if it gets accepted below this level, there's good odds that it trades down to test this level here. Not necessarily saying that it's gonna happen, but the odds are, Mockingbird style if it does get accepted down here below. You can see it just pulls right to that weekly VWAP and then kind of bounced right there. I don't know. I just have a hard time. Um.
Oh, can you look at ETH?
Oh yeah, shit. It's direction neutral. Bollinger Bands, yeah. God, that fucking out got out. Why does it keep doing this? Why does it keep not saving level? ETH actually looks a little bit stronger than Bitcoin. But really, I mean, ETH is still just sitting inside this kind of sloppy bracket for the most part. With excess, excess here, excess here. This is a news-driven excess, so I'm not really super sold on that. Came right. I want to get a coffee. DJ, you playing that, didn't
It's just the next rotation, bro. It's just the next.
But I mean, ETH still looks like it wants to break out to me, Kevin. Like, you know, every time it comes down, and I'm not really counting this because it's news driven, right? Um, and it lasted for like 30 minutes. It didn't put any value down here. Didn't even hang out down there for any amount of time. The volume was after the bounce. And so, I mean, you have this seller who's short up here, this 1400-ish level, has moved down and shorted 1390, 1377, and has since moved down and kind of sold here. So really above that 13.5, which is where we failed that breakout last week and then kind of came back down into the bracket. Above that is where we can get that breakout really to that 1400. And as long as the market's still, you know, if the market doesn't start to make new lows, the ES, right, the actual market, I think there's still opportunity there for the upside.
Thanks, Em.
Yep. Buyers stepping up here on the 82.5, lifting the offer, but no uptick. Notice that. The 82.5, that's where buyers are lifting the offer. Gonna try it again. If they can't get any uptick here, then this is probably a debatable ticket. They got all the way below 1,000. Damn, that was a perfect buy. I don't know if anyone caught along there. But they don't hold it. 82.5. Little down ticks, but still nothing. Buyers are stuck. Buyers are stuck at 82.5 right here. And basically right off half back. So you're getting some mechanical selling right off the half back there. And look like mechanical buying that wasn't going anywhere. I would say that 82.5 is probably going to break. Not a good opportunity. New Call of Duty comes out next week. Excuse me.
I saw a preview of that with the new 4090 chip. They look insane.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks. I just hope the game is good. You know, that's the thing that's going to be the make or break. Be so cool to have a contract with like Nvidia or someone. You just get those new chips right when they come out, and not have to pay a fortune. So sellers coming in here. Remember, this is that 78 level. We saw some sellers get stuck here earlier, so we had some decent rotations around this level earlier. See if buyers are willing to step up on this level again. They got a little bit of liquidation below it. Didn't quite back down to the 70 before shorts started to cover. Breath is back up to 20. Nasdaq breath still okay. Tick is okay. We are making lower lows. lower highs, excuse me. We haven't really made a significant lower low from the previous swing low. Seller's trying to come in here. What volume it? Look at the breath really cooling off. Remember, if D period takes the low of C, that would show the entrance of an other time frame trader, right? Because we're above the T2 high. We're above the previous day's high as well. Or no. We're still inside the previous day's range. Excuse me. But we're popped above that T2 high. So we're getting that responsive selling here. If D takes the low of C and we start to see our weighted AD go negative, we can see our breath cooling. We start to see the tick hang out below 0. Start to break some trend here. This could really give us that confidence that there's another time frame trader entering the market responsively and pushing the market lower, and would make this area up here resistance, right? So that would give you the opportunity to look for a rally to try to sell it if the overall market is still showing weakness when the market rallies. Selling coming off that 73.75 there, 74 area. Kind of have a directionless market here. There's not really a lot of confirmation. Like, you're having counter arguments from all sources here, right? So the tick is not really, not really on agreement on any side, right? Maybe leaning more to the downside here. Breath is negative from when it opened, so I'd say, we're kind of leaning to the downside here, but the Nasdaq breath is positive from the open. Nasdaq breath was like 2.9 when it opens. So the Nasdaq breath is still up, so these kind of are canceling each other out. These kind of are canceling each other out. Weighted AD sitting right at 0. That's kind of not giving us any information. I mean, we're just not. There's not really any conviction from either side really that we're seeing, and even in the profile, right? We've got excess on the low. The market still hasn't broken its open. Value is higher from the previous day. Right, here's the previous day here. So here's value area high. Value is higher. A little backfilling inside these single prints. Haven't even got close to any selling or any correction of overnight inventory. We do have E period coming up, which is the London close, where we could start to see these laggard London longs start to close their positions. So that might maybe get some liquidation. We are making lower highs, but we're not making lower lows, so that kind of cancels itself out, right? So we're really just sitting in like, this kind of neutral market. Everything is still green here for the most part. Tech is struggling, financials just barely red. But for the most part, healthcare is up 0.5%, consumer discretionary up 1.2, communications 64, industrials, consumer staples right flat. So if we look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we've got 4, 2, 3, 4. I'm counting consumer staples as red, or the tops out of the top 7, right? Because energy is where you kind of just draw it off. But out of the top 7, we're having 4 green and 3 like basically about to turn red. So that kind of cancels itself out as well. And for me, this is a time where I think a lot of traders start to force trades, and they start to get convinced of one thing or another, when in reality now is almost the best time to probably take a break, or to kind of just step aside and let the market really show you what it wants to do before you force something in. Yeah, there was a big CME gap today for sure. And we're in between that cash VWAP. Cash VWAP's up 36.85, and the 24-hour VWAP 36.70. Where the weekly VWAP's at? Change the color because I changed all my backgrounds to black over the weekend. Offer moving down here on the 72. Yeah, that 70 is still just sitting there. It's 225, still sitting there. Looks like it wants to trade. Little lifting of the offer here on the 71. There it goes. There's a break of that trend, getting right down to the VWAP here. $150 lots trade on the 69 on the buy side. Offers getting lifted on 69.75 here. Look for an uptick. They're sustaining. If the market doesn't get back below 69, we'll know that that was buying underneath the VWAP and not short covering. So watch the 69 level. There we go, right back to it. Buyers do it again. They're really trying to hold down here. A lot of offers coming in, but you're seeing a lot of bids step up, and it just looks like every offer is getting met with a bid. We're seeing a lot of selling here on the 70, but price is not really moving anywhere except up. And look, you're still holding both of these trends, this down lower high and higher low.
Got a bullish divergence starting to form here.
I'm long one from 69.75, but I'm gonna cut it. You know, if we get any down. Maybe look to add one here. See if they can hold this 70. Be able. Offers trying to come in to 73 here. On. Seeing that selling come in to 73 still. Sellers are trapped at the 70 quarter though. They need to get back below that 70 quarter. If they can't get back below the 70 quarter, should be good. I'm just gonna put my stop on 70 quarter and close my. Nice. Offer just got lifted. Guys, like a sweet cream. On. Buyers trying the 72, 75 area. They're struggling though. There they go. They got it. Nice. Yes. 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 All right. Take us to 78. Fucking good. Flat one here. I got one left. We'll call it from 71 quarter. I had one filled from 69.75 and then added another one 71 quarter. Just closed 176 and I'm looking for 78 here. I'm flat.
Nice trade, bro. Nice trade.
Appreciate it. I was like fucking itching on that flat button, let me tell you. That fucking I was like, because like it's like that spot right there where it's like, you know, like, are the fucking is the bottom gonna fall off or
Yeah,
are
exactly.
these sellers done? And it, you know,
I know I moved my hand off the mouse to unmute, and I was gonna say like we need like one more 1 minute candle, and then by the time I got back to hit the buy bid, I was like a half a second late.
Yeah.
But what I was looking for is for the VWAP to hold right here, and then I think we take this C high right here. Honestly, if we can stay over 50, you know, we'll probably have another rotation, but. If the theory of shorts are stuck underneath this covering, you know, I think if we hold VWAP, we could definitely retest the high.
Agree. I'd like to see us come down, test this 78, 77 level right here. Maybe try to get back.
Honestly, we could even test 72 again. $72 to 76.
Have a good day, Peter. So sellers tried right there at the 79 quarter. But the bid stepped up above that 79.50. You're seeing the offers get lifted right here. This thing might just run straight up to the 84, which would be right below where all that selling was at before. And the cash VWAP. Morning control. VPOC. And so we definitely want to look at this double-sided now, right? You've got the B excess goes up a little bit higher. We've got B excess that can act as resistance. We're one time framing lower. right? The weighted AD is basically neutral, not really giving us any key information. The NYSE breadth is basically where it opened up, but the NASDAQ breadth is strong as fuck. It's like 4-1 almost, or 3.5-1 compared to the open. We got financials flipping green here, so we've got our top 7 green out of 11. I mean, we've got 10 out of 11 green, but top 7 green, and energy's about to go green. Staples are right there, financials are right there, but for the most part, everything else, even tech, is starting to pay attention to the trend here. Tech is below its VWAP though, so is healthcare. A lot of these are below their VWAP. This is an interesting look. Hang on, let me pull this over for you guys. When we take a peek at the sectors individually, here's tech. Here's the VWAP on tech. It's just a cash VWAP because it doesn't trade 24 hours. So cash VWAP. So we're below the VWAP. It could be accumulation, right? There was no supply here. Getting accumulation in financials, accumulation here, communications, accumulation here in industrials, accumulation here in staples and energy. So no conviction there. And just to go back to that trade, I mean, basically the reason I'm liking this trade is we had that peak below 70, right? We've been talking about this 70 level. This is where sellers got trapped earlier. So we come below 70 and we don't get any ticks below the 600. Remember I talked about this, the 600 would be at least show us a little bit of strength, right? But we didn't get any ticks below that 600. And that's to me showing me weakness. And I'm thinking, okay, well, let me think about this. So let me see if we can try one long here. We can have a nice tight stop, right? My stop was at 68 or 67.75 probably. Honestly, it's gone now, so I don't know exactly where it was, but it's my zone ends at 68 and I had it right below the zone. So right there below the zone. And then we just got that nice bounce back above zero, take a long, everything is here. Breadth started to pick back up. We haven't seen any conviction from the sell side. We're not seeing real conviction from the buy side at this low, obviously. But as we're getting to a low, this market should try to break the open, and it wasn't doing anything. There goes some stops. Should get to 90. Yeah, that's where I have my next level. All right, well, 89 to 90. Got a lot of delta on 92. A lot of rotation on 90 on the 1 minute chart. Look at all this.
There any speakers this week?
Maybe later on in the week. Let me look. There's nothing on the news today really at all. Let me see tomorrow.
I think Wednesday there was a speaker.
Hello?
No, I said I think Wednesday speakers, there's speakers, or at least one.
Oh no, sorry, my phone was ringing. My daughter didn't go to school today, so the fucking school's calling me to tell me she's not there. Your student has been. Wednesday. Wednesday we got that. Well, Wednesday Canada has their PPI and CPI. When's PCE? Yeah, we got Bullard on Wednesday, but that's after the market closes. They fired that dude from England over the weekend as well. Yeah, then we've got a bunch of Fed speakers on Thursday towards the end of the day. And then really nothing on Friday as well. This might be a pretty slow week. Not even a lot of economic news as far as unemployment or anything like that. We just got everything, so maybe everyone wants to close their books positive for the first quarter of the year, new fiscal year. Look at the NASDAQ breadth today, guys. NASDAQ is up 3% here. Almost 3.25. What's our boy? Almost up there. Yeah, I'll go say. Still has it 58.5 is the target for AMD. So it's almost there. 57. Still has to break up above here. That high of the day was 58.83, but this thing is saying that it wants 58.5. Really, it should sky if it gets past that. Honestly, we should be looking close to 60 on AMD if it gets above this 58.35. A little bit of an offer 87, 87, 88 level here.
Can you hear me, Brad?
Yeah.
Oh, sellers are looking pretty weak right here.
I mean, this is an area where the sellers have been kind of busy all day. Yeah, I mean, sellers have looked pretty much weak all day. Like they haven't really been able to get anything going. But if this is an area where they're going to try to hold their ground for one more rotation down, it's going to be this like 98 to 94 area. And that'll kind of be the key here, right? We kind of had this ledge. We moved below it. We did a little bit of backfilling here, a little bit of backfilling here. We're above the 85 now, which makes us want to get in this long here. NASDAQ breadth still continuing. We're not seeing real continuation from buyers up here at these highs either. And we still have this ledge right here at the 90. So it's a tough spot to get long right here, but also I'm not taking any shorts. I haven't taken any shorts today. But that's just, I mean, I don't really trade both sides of the market, to be honest. Most of the time I just trade the side that I like to see the market going. And I'll just wait for the pullbacks and stuff. Not to say that I can't trade the downside today, but I just got to get convinced of it first, right? I want to see this tick, get below that 600 level. I want to see some conviction from some sellers before I just get after it. I think a pretty steep uptrend here. Back down to 50. I'd like to see a test back of this 80 level, 78 level.
Yeah, on this next rotation down, I'm going to be kind of watching how we react. And I think this next move down could definitely trap more people short. And honestly, it could go both ways right here. But if we hold this VWAP, the amount of time we've spent right here, you know, going back and forth through these rotations, if we take the high, this is the setup that normally turns into like a trend day, you know, because you're already got trap shorts below us. It creates this kind of pattern. And then if you take the high, you just doubled your trap shorts, you know, then it just starts that slow grind.
Right. We just want to be careful if we do get a break up into this excess here, if you're not seeing that breadth close to, 30 at least, just be careful taking a breakout. Because when we were up here earlier, the breadth was close to 40 actually, and so we want to see agreeing from the entire market.
Yeah, nice responsive long from the bottom of a rotation would be a lot safer. Then you got to clear out.
Yeah, that way we can sell into strength and then maybe try to catch a runner if everyone flip flops here.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at the market today, guys, so you can assume, and we'll just say longer term, because it might be intermediate term, it might just be a larger short term, but we'll just call it long term, right? So a longer term trader sitting in this B excess, a longer term buyer, sitting down here and probably right here around that 70, 68 level. That's where it seemed. That's where I got in. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so we're watching the excess here. And so if the market gets up into this excess, we want to see everything start to just really get up, right? We want to see all these things start making highs. And that will tell us that this seller, this intermediate seller, this longer term seller is done, right? They sold from up here. Maybe they sold the inventory and then they got rid of all their inventory and they're done. So they're going to be out of the way. And now all of these shorter time frame traders that they sold to down at the bottom are going to have to cover, and you'll start to see everything tick up. If we get up here and we don't see everything start to agree to the upside, which does look like it's starting to, but if we don't see that, we can assume that this shorter time frame seller or longer time frame seller, is still willing to sell a little bit more here, and that can make the market a bit more rotational up at the highs instead of just breaking off into the trend that TJ is talking about. You've got to be prepared for both scenarios, right? Because you don't want to get, blindsided by a reactive seller, a responsive seller coming in and smacking the market down. Because this longer term buyer, right, they're not buying up here. Right? This is the shorter time frame traders winning over other shorter time frame traders. Right? And then they start to take the market up if this longer term time frame seller is out of the way. But and you can see we're still in initial balance. So realistically, you don't really have a responsive buyer or seller at all, according to the book. But we got to deduct what we can from the information that we're given. So you've got to be able to, or be thinking about this area up here as the seller so far. Breath is picking up 21 here. Look at the NASDAQ. Breath is looking strong. Damn, I should have held. I can't believe I closed at 78. Motherfucker. All right, Zoe. We'll see you tomorrow.
I did set a target was at least C high.
You did.
Same.
You did. And Roach said it was 90, so I mean, I closed early like a little bitch. There's no arguing with that.
No, I'm just kidding. You took the trade, so you were in the game. Honestly, I've been waiting on a rotation down so I could at least be in a little safer spot to manage risk, but I think we have more trapped shorts than we think because like we haven't got any rotations down hardly. Like it'll rotate down a little to like a previous 1 minute candle low, but then everybody starts to cover that spot because they're not sure if it's going to come down lower, and then it just rallies higher. It's done that twice. It's interesting.
We might be able to, if the buyers hold this 90 level again, this might be the area for a refill.
That 84 was the last two cover spots, I think.
Yeah, I was sitting down there at 82, 81 half 82 when I had some resting buy orders, but we never came back down there after we cracked the 85. I wanted to try to get filled kind of like in this weak spot here.
Based off that reaction, off that just the way the wick looks on we came up and tagged the bottom of this box, we might get a little bigger rotation down this time finally.
With F period too, what do we have? 15 minutes. With F period opening up, we should get a little bit of insight here to the longer term time frame trader's position. If we don't get any correction of overnight inventory, and we can just assume that all of the shorter time frame traders of London are trapped and come to the top of the hour, that's probably when the breakout's going to go. If not leading into it. You're seeing shorts start to cover right here. They need to start. Well, they need to start doing something because seems like they're digging a deep hole here. I think you're dead on, TJ. Like I think that shorts they're trapped and they're like, fuck, every chance they get a chance to take a tick, they're just like, all right, I'll take it.
You know how you're talking, Brad, about, a lot of market time and seeing patterns,
Mm-hmm.
I can't even tell you how many times I've gotten trapped in where what I'll see is I'll see like a very long, green candle, and then it comes all the way back down to the bottom of the candle. And then I'm like, oh, it's got rejected up there. I'm gonna go short. That's normally when it's the biggest rip up.
Right, because all the shorts are going to cover from that spot.
Yep. And it's probably more enticing to shorts, they're like, oh, it got rejected, and then they all pile on. I mean, that was my thought process. A lot of other people probably had the same idea, and then you'll cover real quickly once it jumps above that previous candle,
Right, and that's because most traders are trading price.
Mm-hmm.
They're so focused on the price, and that's why we try to maintain objective and stay focused on value and what's going on with the day. And so far today, right, we've got we're leaning a little bit to the upside, but we're being responsive with our trades. We're not really trying to force anything into these breakouts, and we're understanding that you know, the high is not where we want to get long. Like 90, the market could break out from here 90, but we also know the risk, and the thing that sucks is like, yeah, it could break out from 90 and we miss the trade if we get long from here. But in order to really prove this trade wrong, getting long at 90, your stops really got to go below 78. And that would put you at a pretty difficult risk to reward trade, because you know that B excess is going to act as resistance or possibly act as resistance. So that's not really getting the bang for your buck there.
Yeah, I find it's just better, you know, if you're unsure, just not be in.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yep. Yeah, if
I
if
always
you're unsure and you're in a trade, you're just gambling.
I always think of the movie Maverick when he's like, too rich for my blood. You know? It's like I don't want to pay you know, pay the fee if I'm wrong. So I'm like, it's better just not be in right here.
Finder's fee.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is an interesting look right here. This 88.5, the bottom of these 1 minute candles.
It's been really struggling to break 88 too.
Yeah, it's tough not to try this long from there, but it's like a
I'll let you
it's like a
know.
trampoline.
I did get long at 90 and then it went up to 91. I got out just, and then that's whenever I reiterated. Now it's like, if you're unsure, just don't be in. It worked, but it was one of those ones where I didn't trust it enough. And then I was like, what are you doing? Don't be in.
Yeah, and exactly, if you're able to get in and scalp a point off the market, then nothing wrong with that. Just as long as you're managing that risk on the downside. Sellers are stuck on the 89.75 here. We could get the pop here. If they don't get back below 89.75, we'll pop.
And here we go.
Target to 95. Buyer's still lifting the offer. Should be good. You could even move your stop up depending upon where you got filled. Offer coming in on 91. We're at 89.75 is where they got stuck at. You can be stuck and you can take an offer right below that. See them get below that.
Yeah, below 88.5, gonna spill.
Scratch there. No volume though.
Mm-hmm. Does this mic make my voice sound different, Brad?
No, not really.
Oh, I was gaming last night. Like, oh, your voice sounds different.
Sounds more clear.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Sellers just got stuck again on 91. There they go, back below 91 now. So careful here. They're being aggressive. Sellers are trying to be aggressive here, but they might be being cautious. They keep getting forced down and letting the market pop up a little bit. As long as they hold this 89.5 here. Bid steps up a 91.5. Close off.
Oh yeah, they'll cover. They'll get scared. I'd get scared. That's how I think about it. If all of a sudden this just jumps up to 94, I'd be like, oh shit, I got it wrong. Get out. That's what they'll do.
Target's 95 again. Stops at 91 quarter. So it was a risk-free trade. I got filled at 91 quarter. My stop's at 91 quarter. Break even trade. Trying to let it breathe a little bit here. Just a one lot. Trying to see if it can get some legs.
I hope it does. Oh yeah, if I was in a short, I'd be shitting my panties right now.
Stops up at 92.75 now. Letting this one breathe, guys. Just a one lot. It's still coming in 95.50.
See what weird, like what I was talking about, Brad? Like it comes right back down to, the bottom of that candle on a huge wick up. And then it just, if it kind of holds there, I mean, it's easy to just trap shorts right there. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I've lost so much money on that trade right there by jumping in thinking it's going to reverse.
A lot of selling on the 96 and no downticks there. Sellers just got stuck on 96. Yep. Nice. So we can put our stop here like 95 maybe. That's getting a little bit tight, but that's fine with me. My original target was 95, so now the trade's basically the exact trade that I wanted to get in. All the trade is good. So if it comes back down to 95, I can actually be happy. There we go. Wow. It's not bad.
Nice. Be proud, Brad. I wasn't even in.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
It's normally not a whole lot of time that I'm not in a trade during the market hours, but you know what? I wasn't sure. Just because I've seen it happen before doesn't mean it'll happen again, right?
Right. Close your trade preemptively in a small gain as the 6-hour CME stock pivot. How many time frames are you watching, Clipper? Because that's a tough. It's tough. Like we're watching the 1 minute here for entries, right? And that's the only thing that we're really watching, and we're watching inventory on the 1 minute. But we're developing our thesis of what the market's trying to do. That E high is mechanical right off the previous day's high. For a rebid here down here somewhere. But we're developing the rest of our thesis off of the internals of the market and the TPO. So if you're trading, if you're developing like your thesis off of, one chart, and you're looking for your entry on another chart, you've got to be able to stick with those, or else a lot of times you're going to run into a little bit of trouble as far as letting your trades work out, and that can get frustrating. A little bit of resistance in that B high, so that seller's still probably sitting there, but also I think we're seeing some okay, that sounds great. Just tell me when. What do you mean, Steve? You're talking to me or to Clipper? Uh, Even confirmations and cancellations. Oh, okay. As long as it's consistent, that's the only thing I'm really trying to say, I guess, is like just make sure it's consistent. You know, don't start looking at another chart. That's where people get into a lot of trouble. Is like, but if you're consistently looking at those, then I think you're on the right track. Trying to offer this 93 level again.
I'm gonna work on something right here, Brad.
Not a dead cat, just a dead cat bounce. Or just a dead cat.
Brad,
What's up?
I said I'm gonna try to work on something right here.
What's up?
I already hit my goal for the day, but I'm just watch
Nice.
and not trade.
One of the hardest things for a lot of people to watch the market and not trade.
That's what I'm gonna work on right now. I'm gonna try to watch it for another hour and a half and not trade. Imaginary trade.
AMD hit our 58.51 to the tick there. Let's come back down into hour looks to be falling in 2 minutes. Yeah, and I don't blame you, Clipper. Like, there's no real conviction from either side, right? Especially like look where the market's at. We're up at the high, and we're not really seeing, besides the Nasdaq breath looks really strong, but we're not seeing the NYSE breath really kind of tick up here. But no strength in selling either. And remember, if there's no supply in the market can't go lower. Market needs supply to go lower, and right now it's just you're not seeing any. Oh, okay, did you get my text? Yeah.
It's up in the fridge.
Oh, you got it?
Went to Target. Me and
Oh.
Colleen. Pop-Tarts.
Oh, you want to- Only good Pop-Tart. Is it though? Alright, love it. A little bit of Brad Prince here below, and so this is going to be the key here, I think, is this area. So we're talking about trap supply pretty much all day, and this is our new age way kind of look at it. You're not going to find this in the book, but if F period doesn't close this area down to D period, we can assume that we've got trap shorts down here. Duquan, bid steps up, Yukon coming out of hiding on the podcast did shake the crypto market. Was he the Luna guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, hey, just kidding. Try this Luna 2.0. Got you again, bitch.
I know. So dumb. It's fucking ridiculous. People are buying it though.
Yeah, they are.
Huge volume. It's insane.
People are just trying to make money. That's it.
It's interesting he's coming out though. He's got Interpol warrants.
Must be in Sweden or something.
You know, supposedly he's still in South Korea, but who knows? You got that kind of money, go anywhere.
Yeah, true. What's happening with the? What was the other one? That stole a bunch of money.
Celsius.
Celsius.
And
Yeah.
turns out it just came out the other day that him and a couple other executives took a lot of money a month before they suspended trading. Millions and millions. But they're getting indicted.
They should get stoned. I like stoning, I think. You know, I think it's like maybe not stoning, that's a little brutal, but like the stockades.
Yeah, public humiliation is good.
Printing a head and shoulders on the 15-minute for BTC will result in. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. And it's not like I'm just like, you know, fucking you know, patterns don't work, because sometimes they do play out. The thing is like I especially at first I was having to be so aggressive when teaching the profile, because I was trying to break so many bad habits, because I'm really trying to get everybody to think in the mindset of odds and probabilities, which is exactly what you're doing. And that's why I'm saying this, Clipper, is like you're seeing all of these things that are telling you to close the trade. You're able to close the trade in profit, but you're seeing all these things that are telling you, like, you know what, this trade is getting a little bit too risky and it's starting to look like it's not going to go. And so that right there in itself, I think is great, because you're seeing these things kind of setting up and you're like, you know what, this is just not the one. And if the trade goes without you, no big deal. And if the trade doesn't go, then great, right? You'll have an opportunity to try again later. But just the fact that you're thinking about it in that odds and probabilities and looking and weighing both sides of the evidence, right? Because so many times or too often traders will get blindsided by not blindsided, blinded by their own trade, right? They just get into a long and they won't be able to see anything that's telling them that it's not going to work. They're just like, it's going to work. You know, and especially when a lot of these, especially the crypto market, follow a trader that will take, you know, fucking millions of dollars of heat to hit a profit. You know, it could be damaging to the psychology. The downward pennant. Offer coming in here 91. Get a little bit of downtick, so there's a seller there. All right, guys. Well, it is 12 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and grab some lunch, grab a workout, and then I'll check in with you guys, see if anyone's in the TPO chat. Approach click. Sorry. But yeah, so awesome, Clipper. That's what it's all about, right? And really like just for the opportunity for everyone to learn. And I feel like I'm learning here with you guys as well. It's and I really do enjoy, being on the stream every single day. So or every single day that I have the opportunity. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful day. Looks like London's closed and here we go. A lot of shorts covering. Those shorts got trapped down there at 91 up to 96. But yeah, I mean, watch these. We call them Brad prints. Basically, it's showing us that there's a little bit of trapped inventory here below. We've been talking about trapped inventory all day, and we're starting to see the things that we want to see, right? Weighted AD is making a new high. Breadth is looking stronger. Look at this, almost 8-1 on the NASDAQ. Back into the 20s on the NYSE. Starting to see the tick agree, getting a little break up here, values higher. Now we're one time framing up, right? So we're seeing those things that we want to see for continuation. We need more crypto charts. We'll find them over time, I'm sure. Pop, good morning, man. We're just getting off, but everyone can head over to the Discord chat. So if you're new to the stream, and you head over to the Discord, you can kind of see here that if you go to the Discord, and if you don't have the Discord, just post the link. If you're watching this on replay, just post below, and I'll send it to you. But come down here, TPO chat or Lincoln logs. My dad's always streaming his chart. If you don't have a TPO and you want to be able to watch the TPO, he's always streaming the TPO down there. And then jump in the TPO chatter and the Lincoln logs, and we'll chat after the stream is over. Just a good spot for everyone to kind of conjugate and share ideas. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure that you are managing risk and sticking to your trade plan, and I will catch you all later.